Alrighty, is Rome is
Wait,
burning
hold on.
hosted.
Now it is.
Oh. All right, this is Rome is burning live stream hosted by Ivan, who's running my account since I don't have a computer, but I do have a phone,
Mhm.
so at least we got that.
We put Rick outside where he belongs. He's going back.
Yeah. I'm a guest on my own show.
True.
It's just sad. Well, it's not really
It's
my
rough,
show.
man.
It's our show, guys. Our show, fellas.
Yeah,
I
we're
just
about
happen to
sharing.
have all the accounts
My
and the control
mentions on
C.
Twitter are just shit right now. I got all these boomers pissed off.
What'd you say?
I replied to an MSNBC personality.
Like, hey
Oh,
guys,
oh.
liberty isn't that great.
Like
Free
you can
America.
help
What are you
with
talking about,
freedom,
man?
but without taking them into your country, and you could also not bomb them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not one or the other, you know.
It's both. You don't want to take them, but you also don't want to bomb them. Like I got
Exactly.
nothing against you, but I don't have anything. I got nothing.
You can choose to not play the game. You know, you can choose to not bomb them
Hmm?
and not bring them in massive numbers.
Hey, hold on. I'm on a thing. Sorry, dude. Can't speak right now.
Oh yeah, my mom, my walk in
Apologies,
at any
folks.
point, or anyone really. I don't have a lock on my door or anything. People around me.
I'm out in the parking lot of my apartment complex in my car
Yeah, that's very
because my
private.
wife has because my wife has
Nice
all
and
her
comfy.
friends over. So if unless you want to hear a bunch of girls gabbing it on in the background, I doubt you want to hear that. It's really boring.
All right, I'm plugging this stream everywhere. Hopefully that'll draw
Sweet.
some viewers in.
All right. How do I see the comments or anything like that?
If you click on the link for the chat on the bottom, like share video link or
Yeah.
whatever, the link on the bottom, not the invite link, but the link on the bottom that has the actual link for the video. You click that in the separate window tab,
Yeah, got it. Got it. Yeah, I
and
got it. All right.
yeah,
Okay.
and just mute it. Make sure you mute it or pause or
Yeah,
whatever
it's
so you
all
can look at
muted.
the live chat.
Room is burning
Excellent.
tech support.
Room is burning. Tech support.
All right, we're retarded. I'm retarded. You guys are
Aren't we all
great.
a little bit retarded?
We're all retarded
I'm
together.
illiterate actually. Uh,
Hmm.
Your special ed teacher to teach you how to shit in the
yeah, I
bathroom.
need a bunch of South Americans to teach me English. That's
Oh, that was wacky.
yeah.
Sorry about that. That was a weird tech thing. All right, now I'm gonna open up the stream here, and I'll start scanning through the comments.
You know,
All
there's
right,
one
so
thing I was thinking about
we
today
were.
that
Go ahead.
there's one thing I was thinking about today that I've kind of come full circle. Like we started this show to be like a cultural critique thing, and then like the weight of the world got too heavy, and we're like, guys, we gotta talk about all this other crap that's happening. You know, we can sit here and just talk gas on about media or movies or comics or whatever, and that ended up like with the whole group, it's like mass converting to orthodoxy, and then after we're like, okay, you know what? Maybe this whole like revolt thing is actually a terrible idea. And now I'm kind of like back to like being at peace with this horrible chaos around me and just like digging into the cultural stuff I like. So one of the things that I've been looking up a lot is a lot of like the media and comic reviewers on here on the YouTubes. And there's some dudes who just like crank out like 3 or 4 videos just like filming it from their phones and uploading it to their channels. I'm like, I could do that. I could just do like a 15-minute little knockoff video of something I read or saw or some shitty article. Like I really want to do one about that article that Richard Spencer shared by that horrible woman Carolyn Emmerich about the Easter,
Oh
that Easter
God.
article she put out. Just a awful, just stupid, embarrassing article that
I mean,
you'd be
what you should
embarrassed to put
do
this out.
is, you go on Twitter and you go on your phone, right, and you record a video of yourself yelling at them. I found that to be very effective. I did that to Rick
Yeah,
Wilson once, and
yeah, yeah.
got myself a 7-day ban. But responded, and like the account had activity for like the entire 7 days. Well, I couldn't use it.
I mean, it was worth it.
Uh,
It was totally worth it. Yeah, yeah. He took it as a threat. It was awesome. He should be afraid of me. I'm
he has
never
one
gonna
on the
leave him
list.
alone.
Yeah, but he's too. He has a hard on to like ruin Ricky Vaughn's life since Cantwell doxed him, which kind of brings us to the topic of tonight's stream, which that revolution is a demonic pact.
Yep.
It is a horrible mind virus, and I think it's unchristian to gloat. It's unchristian to be like I told you so. But we have been saying, kind of harping on this message a lot, both on the show, on the Twitters, that nothing good comes from indulging in these revolutionary impulses. I mean, let's do. I guess we can start with like a brief recap of all the stuff that's going on in like the wider fringe right.
Yeah, we could start where with the first scandal, which is it's just like old news now. Nobody's talking about, it, nobody cares. But the Heimbach
Oh yeah, the
orgy clusterfuck, whatever you want to
no,
call it,
they're calling it box gate because Matt
uh,
Parrott was standing on a box and it broke
the
outside.
cockbox. Uh,
Yeah, the cock box.
saying that out loud, man. You
Ugh.
can go ahead.
It's just shameful, man. And here's the thing. Someone who this really hurt, was Dr. Matthew Raphael Johnson, who I'm friends with there on the Facebooks on like my dummy account that I don't even use anymore. But I'll check the feed from now and then, here and there, and I checked his feed like back when it was happening. And he was really upset about it, and he should be because these are friends of his. He was their confessor for a time. And there's kids, and he's right that there's kids involved. These people have children, but this is like someone who they weren't living a real Christian life. They were living like an Orthodox flavored Nazi life,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
they were so. And it's one of the big things that we talked about here is that it's being so externally focused and not at all being internally focused, like not even half and half. I mean, when you're freaking banging your
doing
best friend and
BDSM, right?
compatriot and godfather's wife, it's like, how low do you go, man?
Yeah, I mean, he's lucky that. I mean, it could be worse, but it would be a lot worse if it was.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
it's already criminal. Like he already choked the guy out twice, and it's just like people kind of just start talking about like, well, I guess that blew up, ha ha. Like, no, guys, we need to like take account of what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like these are the only people who I would have characterized as semi-sane. That's only because of their religious affiliation. But I even had problems with that because Heimbach did a lot of the sort of thing where he's like, well, actually, Jesus is actually pretty hardcore. I mean, in Revelation, he comes back with and there's blood everywhere and shit, and there's like swords and killing people. It's like,
yeah, that's not the point, though. Like
yeah,
that
I just want
Revelation is terrifying. I just listened to it the other day.
yeah, that's
That
really
was
like the end of
not a
time.
fun book.
That's the that's like the end of time. It meant to like that's what you want to like. You should look at Judgment Day in dread,
You know,
not be
you
like
see it, like
I can't
the
I
scenes
can't
of
for my enemies to get totally owned.
it's a scenes of
Mm-hmm.
like everybody in the world is hiding under a mountain and praying that the mountain falls on them because the sky is literally curling up and like reality's falling apart. It's the end of Evangelion.
Yeah,
Literally, literally,
instrumentality begins.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's
And the sea gave up the
but
dead which were in it. That literally is the final scene of Evangelion, man.
but beyond the but like beyond that point, there's also the sort of thing that he talks about. Where he talked about was like I don't care if you're if you're a pagan or an atheist in this fight, man. As long as you're in it, like the subtext in there is like is that because is the that this racial battle is the only important thing. Like that's kind of the subtext of that apologetic. Like, well, I don't care if you're an Odinist or a pagan or an atheist, as long as you're in the fight. The
Hmm.
subtext is because that's what's really important.
Yeah.
And if you're just walking around Charlottesville, getting maced in the face as you're wearing your stormtrooper helmet you bought on eBay, I'm
Uh,
sorry, you're not living an orthodox life, man. And I'm not trying to say that I'm so freaking great. If to quote Dr. Johnson again, if we all had our sins as advertised and bandied about as Heimbach's sins were recently, we'd all be hanging our heads in shame. But
I
there has
mean,
to be an honesty about the degree to which you let yourself fall.
mhm.
is the white race you want to save the one that like fucks your mother-in-law,
Right.
like, and then like beats up her husband in front of his kids?
I couldn't believe it. I saw that. I was like, this is awful.
That's the white race,
I felt so
everybody.
bad for Heimbach because I've stood up for Heimbach. I've shielded for Heimbach. I'm like, he's
I don't know, man. He came at me on Facebook once. I didn't talk to him again.
Oof.
I had problems with him, like I do with a lot of the overly political people on this side of the fence. But overall, I would have stuck up for him more than I didn't. But then this thing blew up, and then on top of that, there's like some trash leftist blogger called like what was it, like Unicorn Farts or whatever.
I've never heard of that.
What in the world?
But geez, what a name. What a great
they
brand. Let's look
they
them up.
they had a mole inside the Trader Worker Party Discord, and they leaked all these screen caps, audio clips of these
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Is that the source for
Yeah,
all those images? Ugh.
yeah, and it's like it's awful that you know your enemy owns you this hard, but we can't ignore like we can't just look at the source of the information and be like, well, I'm not gonna pay attention to this because we do have to pay attention. We can't just look away from this because these weren't fake screen caps. These were the real screen caps. These were real conversations these guys were having about throwing Molotov cocktails everywhere, about like raping women, just these like violent fantasizations and all these like yeah, oh well this guy has like he's married to a non-white so he can still work for us but he's not allowed in the ethno state. Dude, the ethno state is not around the corner. It's not just like one street fight away. It's not like guys, just one more street fight and the fucking ethno state's here, man. It's not gonna.
It's
It's not.
no, it's weird because I thought like the fringe right, sort of as a whole, I thought it was sort of beyond this. I thought we got past this kind of sort of like juvenile bloodlust that you see from everyone. You know,
Yeah, you
like
wish.
oh, am I allowed to say the N word on the stream? I don't want to risk. I don't want to get risk you guys getting flagged, but
What
like
you
it's
mean,
like if you just
naggers?
nibber. If we kill one more San African American, uh, it's like or no. Remember, I forgot who. I'm not going to name names. Whatever. So there's someone on Twitter who said like, I'm for abortion for black people because it'll
Oh,
ensure
I
less
know
Democrat.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm
One of the
like,
biggest idiots on Twitter, too.
I
yeah, and
don't.
it's like,
You know what? I don't know what you're talking about because there's a lot of these guys. A lot of
yeah, I
people
know,
say
and
that.
it's
Oh,
just
no,
like
no, no. This is a very specific person.
it's just I don't know. I really thought that we were kind of past that, but I don't know, man. It just feels like I mean, this is sort of a sentiment I've been expressing a lot recently, but it really does feel like whole world's gone nuts. It's like everyone sort of lost their footing, and That's obviously because, I mean, obviously, lack of faith. Secular societies aren't, they're not known to last.
It's it's so crazy, man. And then you have okay, like here's the thing. One of the things that they talked about in that in those screen caps was what they were worried that Antifa would come to the house they were staying at through the woods in the back, and so they prepped Molotov cocktails and like, oh yeah, we're gonna start a forest fire. We're gonna own these guys so hard. Okay, first of all, it didn't happen. Second of all, even if it did, like
Antifa would
you
never
have
put in that
guns.
much effort, dude. Like
Here's the
these,
thing.
the this is not
You,
the
the way,
Germany
yeah,
Antifa. This is American Antifa. Very different animal.
yeah, it's like wafy vegan hipsters,
Yeah.
and even so, like you have guns. If you're like, okay, it reminds me of that Futurama, that Futurama joke where they go to the gun show. And he's like, "That's why I carry around my mutated anthrax." He holds the Bible up. He goes for duck hunting.
It's coming right for us.
It's like it's like I'm sorry, you don't need Molotov cocktails, dude. You have guns. That's more than enough to defend yourself. At this point, you're just looking for a reason to go nuts on somebody because what's
You know what
controlling
it
you is
is?
not faith, it's not ethics, it's not virtue. It's
You know what
just
it
like a
is?
psychopathic bloodlust.
Hmm.
It's terminal LARPing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's LARPing yourself to death, LARPing
Oh,
yourself into prison. You
and
you you started to believe the LARP, like you're literally live action role playing now. I got my Molotov cocktails. I got my gun. If somebody comes at me in my bed, I got my hatchet. Just gonna,
gonna lips so hard.
there's Antifa outside my door every night.
There's that thing
I
was on the under my car in the morning.
like I can understand where the sort of sentiment begins because obviously these people, even though they're doing these crazy things, I get it. They're like disgruntled. They don't like the way the world is, right? And that's totally I get it, right? But at the same time, you need to like how I would explain why they're like all these Nazi people, right? Is that okay? And I'm not talking about like Nazis, like people who actually know about like the ideology. I'm just talking about people who are LARPing as Nazis, and you know, so they like look at okay, I'm not happy with the way the world is. Let's look at what the liberals who were or leftists or whatever label you want to use. What did they hate? Okay, they hate Nazis. I'm just going to be a Nazi now to spite them, and I understand where some of that stuff comes from. Obviously, not all ex are like that. I get it. It's not the case for everyone, but if when that kind of thinking is reaches his logical conclusion, you kind of get this crazy stuff that you're talking about now, like this. And I'm thinking the right way to go about it is that there needs to be sort of like there needs to be a sort of balance between fringe and normalcy, because you still got to be like, you can't just let yourself devolve into just like I don't want
Whoa,
to say,
Vic.
you know what I'm
Whoa,
saying,
Vic.
like
It sounds like you're an optics cuck.
What you
I
gotta
don't
be
need.
is
I
fringe,
I've heard everyone saying nice optics,
decent
bro. I'm like,
fringe.
I don't know what that means, man.
Sounds like you're an optics cuck, bro. You care about optics? What a
Nice
loser. I'm
optics.
here to fight a battle, bro. I'm not here to fight for your stupid optics. And, I don't
It's
care about optics. That's why I held a rally, because of how little I care about optics.
literally all of warfare is about creating a perception and an appearance in order to
That just kind of.
look stronger than
Sorry,
you
go ahead.
are, look better than you are, look, like you want to fight like a holy war. You actually want to start being holy, like
There's
this,
people, okay, in the in those leak chats, there's one guy who was like, "Screw your optics. I'm here to fight a battle, or I'm here to fight a war." Like,
Wait, is optics code
you
word for like
losing,
PR?
you're losing.
listen, listen. The Antifa street thugs, you can you can beat all of them to a pulp in one day. It will do nothing for your movement. Like that's not a that's the distraction. That's not the real battle. Is fighting some like degenerate vegan hipster, who's in between his his lunch breaks at his like shitty coding job. Okay, that's not the battle, man.
Mhm.
That's not the
Here's
battle.
something
That's so
that
stupid. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fight this guy, and then we'll win. Like, show me this battle plan. How the hell this works in your head? That you fight enough of these Antifa retards on the streets that then you're totally gonna win, man.
well, I keep asking them like, what exactly is your plan other than like calling out Jews on the internet? Like, at the end of the day, it's like it's that and fight a bunch of college kids in the street, and like they might deserve it. They definitely deserve to be beaten in the street just to learn some humility. But it's a waste of time. It's a red herring. The real way, and everyone hates when people say it. I'm not the only one who says it, but the real way is literally through just legitimate politics, through having actually a good, positive public image that people would want to support and supporting good policy. I know it sounds like a bunch of cuckery to democracy and shit, but look, man, that's like
I mean,
how do you secure the courts? Like how do you make decisions on the law outside when you can't rely on Congress? Like you have to take positions that are strategically important, and you can't do that when you're out in the street larping around, beating people up with sticks, throwing Molotov cocktails, and yelling racial slurs. Even if you are right, it's still the wrong way to do it.
there's hold on. I'm sorry. I think it's an echo if I'm talking on your end, Ivan. Whatever.
I don't think it's not on my end.
No, there's
The
no echo here.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm hearing it. What was I gonna say? This freaking it's I just can't get over how how insane everyone's gotten. Like they've mistaken the spectacle for reality.
Well,
And
a lot of these people, they spend a lot of time online.
That's true. It
They watch
works.
a lot of media, whether they want to admit it or not, which is fundamentally subversive in its nature, and they get inspired by that media.
Hmm.
okay, like I've stopped
They're as
listening to the
disconnected as anyone else, and they
I've
want to
stopped
build a
listening.
connection in the ethno state, but they don't know what an ethno state is, and they've never seen one, and they've never been in one, like they've never lived one.
Yeah,
And what
you want to see Anthos State? Go to Utah where it's like 90 something percent white, and where they're all cucks and like weird Mormon heretics. Okay, that's the Anthos State. But that's besides the point because that's a different line of criticism. And that I'm not totally against Seattle State, even though technically I wouldn't be in it. That's not my point here. My point is not their goals, but their tactics.
Hmm.
Like the okay, I haven't watched. I haven't listened to the Daily Show in like more than a year, but I'll catch clips now and then on YouTube. Like there's a channel called Chronos that like catalogs a lot of like these little moments in right wing internet uh, shenanigans. And I saw a clip today where they're talking about Jordan Peterson. Now we've had plenty of criticism of Jordan Peterson on here, both on air and off air. But one thing that they were kind of harping on, I think they kind of missed the point entirely. There's a whole meme about him, like, oh, he talks about cleaning your room, and he means that literally, but also metaphorically for dealing with your own issues and getting your own house in order. And that's what we talk about here, which is like pursuing virtue, pursuing ethic, pursuing holiness. You aren't
ordering
just
things,
externally focused; you're internally
putting
focused
things
as
in
well.
order.
Like that, exactly. It's, but they were so harping on the clean your room idea as if like that's all he meant and that's only what he meant. Like he just means clean your room. Is like there's plenty of great men who did great things and had messy rooms. Like, dude, you're missing the point here. And and I hope someone sends this to the Rice Up guys, which I don't really care if they listen to or not. But if someone on or around them does hear this, it's like they suffer from this problem as well. I mean, Mike Enoch was married to like a freaking like treacherous Jewess,
Hmm.
like truly the enemy. Like this woman was working for the B'nai B'rith, and she was enforcing all these weird diversity policies in her workplace the campus she worked at. Like this wasn't a good moral person, and that that was on his end. That was an element of moral corruption. I mean, that's the freaking honest truth about it. And say what you want about divorce, it's definitely wrong, but that's not something that should have happened. You know, being married to someone who's such an like intentional and outright enemy of your entire cause and way of life.
Hmm.
So in his little ethical system, that was cleaning his room, and that's what people don't get. That's what the Jordan Peterson thing is about, and that's one of the things he does have right. Is like, how can you go out and think you're gonna save the world or build the ethno state if you are fucking your best friend's wife?
Right.
Hey man, the ethno state is going to be me, my wives, 20 of them, and my 100 children who are going to have, you
Me and my
know,
Antifa war brides.
right.
Why
And
is
my
it that
children are,
all?
of course, going to intermarry because, you got to keep the bloodline pure, and they're each going to have 100 children. That's the ethno state.
Why are?
Jerry Springer conflicts as far as the eye can see.
Why
We're
is
going to
it that all
have
of
a trailer
these?
park across the entire United States.
A trail part for every American.
Every
I'm sorry,
every
Vic. Go
every
ahead.
house will also be a car.
I'm wondering, why is it all of these people who end up being these sort of like personality cults, whatever, leaders of the alt right, whatever you want to call them, these people who always get in power. Why is there something always like really wrong with them? And right, that's like,
Well, ask
I always say
yourself
on,
like, what happens to successful people who like get into this shit?
well,
Like,
they get drunk on fame, I guess. They like the attention. Who knows? But I mean, I say like, you shouldn't be following these personality cults. Follow like these mothers and fathers. On like unironically, go on Twitter, look up like Christian father, and just follow those people. They'll have something better to say than these people. I can guarantee it, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like even like kind
Because
of like
they're actually,
normie cons like Matt Walsh. Yeah, he's way. I'm sorry, he's like 1,000 leagues better. Even though I wish the whole like race taboo would kind of people would get over it and be able to talk about that openly. That's one thing I think is what leads a lot of people to these like psychopathic fringe all right people is that they're the ones who are breaking that taboo to talk about race and talk honestly about race. And
Mhm.
so people see other people see people who are otherwise honest and wise like hemming and hawing about this topic and sort of like, well, this guy's obviously full of shit. So who do they go to? They go to freaking like self-destructive, I'm sorry, self-destructive retards like Christopher Cantwell. And they're like, yeah, well, this guy know this guy knows what's up. I tried so hard to help Chris Cantwell, man. Like in real life. Like
dude,
I met this guy
you
in
have
real
to keep
life and I was like, nigga, go to church. Nigga, this is like kind of fucking you up. Don't you like this is messing you up? Don't you think it's messing you up? I sent him like messages, email and Facebook Messenger. And you know what he did? He would like make like snide like these indirect references to it on the show. And he'd be like, "Yeah, if you're trying to show your like he thought I was trying to like show Roma's Burning. I don't care if anyone watches Roma's Burning. I make Roma's Burning for
nobody
like
watches
myself
the
and like
show.
my friends.
Nobody watches the show anyway.
Yeah, I got like
29
700
views.
views. I'm like, wow, 700. That's a lot for me. That's the peak of my life. I'm awesome with like 50
Put
views.
write that
I'm good,
write that on the gravestone.
right? Like sweet 700 views.
I
Seems
oh
like
man,
a gang.
I was just thinking like Chris Cotwell's redemption moment. He passed it long ago, but it was when
He
that
passed it.
Mormon chick took him to church. I don't care if it was a Mormon church. Like, that was his moment to like turn his life around. See how
Like
nice all the Mormons were and how nice their lives were and how everybody was white. And he decided to go be a retard at.
like if the ecumenists are right and like if the universalists are right, like he gets to the pearly gates and God's just like, Mormon, I guess it's the best you can do. You freaking weirdo. I don't know. Maybe that was his one chance. Like, well, if you can't do anything better than Mormon, I guess you're in. I don't know, man. Just and so what did him and Paul Nayland do? They doxed Ricky Vaughn. Are you
Ugh.
sure Ricky Vaughn's like half alt light or whatever? All this stupid crap. It's like, don't.
No, Ricky Vaughn was the leader of the alt right.
Yeah, like
Undisputed.
look. At that point, like if you're doing that, the people who are more on your side than they aren't, or people they screw me over. You know what? Oh, geez. If only
Get
there was
over
an
it, bitch.
ethos.
Like,
If
look,
only there was an
are you
ethos
running for
about.
Congress? Why are you having Twitter feuds? Like Twitter feuds with fucking anons, anime
If only
Right.
there
ads.
was an ethos that encouraged letting grudges go and forgiveness. Jeez, if only
Yeah,
there
Too
was
bad.
something like
if
that that
only
could
there
like
was.
curb such destructive urges.
Too bad no such thing exists.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nobody.
sadly.
Hmm.
There's nothing that ever teaches anybody to forgive their enemies and be nice to them.
And there's something that I said I made the comparison on Twitter, which is like, okay, if you take the white genocide thing into account, this sort of like retard self-destructive infighting, and this is like a really nerdy, well, it's not nerdy reference, but it's like the season 2 of Battlestar Galactica, where like there's like 3,000 people left on this one spaceship and a few hangers-ons, and they encounter another spaceship, and within like 3 episodes, they're at each other's throats in a civil war. It's like, this is how retarded you look. Your race is dying, but but you're too busy like having gay street fights and doxing each other to do anything meaningful.
Right.
Yeah, but you don't understand, Rick. Ricky Vaughn was a leftist. All right, he was a race traitor.
He's a race trainer. You got it?
He was a
He's a
race.
freaking race trainer.
As far as
That's
I'm
my.
concerned, Ricky Vaughn's a fucking leftist because he said I was retarded for doing retarded shit. He
Oh,
saw that my
dare he?
tactics were failing and said, "Hey, you're fucking up." And oh no, you can't do that, bro.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. Jeff says the infighting is a sign of self-serving nature of an individual. What we want are people who are humble servants. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Humility,
that's why you
man.
actually have to cuck a little bit and use the democratic process for your own you know agenda, if you will,
That's the
as
Hey, you
thing.
know,
actually a public servant, as an actual public servant, and
Right.
the
actually
clip I
serve the
saw,
public.
the clip, the clip I saw today of the TRS guys talking about that one thing they're doing, that I guess they were saying that this was like the anti-Jordan Peterson thing, because he's like a radical individualist, which is trash. That they're setting up networks of guys across the country, and I think it's a good tactic. It's 1,000 times better than like having stupid street fights or like retarded rallies that only hurt you.
Right. He's doing
And
yeah, like
I can't be against him on that regard, because I think that's 1,000 times better. You build up a network. I mean, you know what? Here's the thing, man. To to have that sort of thing work, you need an ethos of humility, where if some conflict happens, you're already ready to forgive or apologize. You don't come to the conflict looking to like best the guy who's your ally,
right.
you know? So if you want to talk from a purely utilitarian perspective, which I loathe when I talk about Christianity, I mean that's one of the obvious ones. Like
Mhm.
this mentality of like, maybe I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Maybe I don't know everything in the world. Maybe I don't know what's best all the time. Maybe my instincts and values are crooked naturally. I need to submit to a standard. I need to submit and help my neighbor. That's how you build a network that
Yeah,
works.
you
That
know,
isn't just descend into infighting.
you make friends.
You actually have to
You build a
surround yourself
friendship
with
brand.
people who care about each other. Wow.
This is friendship brand, fellas. This is Rome is burning. Pure
You
Rome is
do each
burning my
other
road.
favors, and you
It is the
forget
most
it
powerful
when you're
brand.
an asshole.
That's why I invite her to. That's why I invite all the squad to the wedding. That was great.
Oh, the wedding was
Ivan
not
there,
fun.
bunch of niggas. And you know what? It was like if like some shit happened, it was so quickly under the bridge, like no one noticed it.
Oh, I guess took a while to get to the wedding. That's about it, really. Is that all?
Yeah, that was it. I was like, what the fuck are these guys? No,
Go to
it was really
Sunburn.
cool to hang out with myself in my hotel room the night before. It was really cool, guys. Thanks. But that's fine. I forgave you.
Quick question: Am I crunching too loud? Because if I am, I'll stop.
I
I
can't
couldn't
hear
even
you
get it.
crunching.
Now
Okay,
I
Quick, you
good.
can.
gamer grub, bro.
Sunflower seeds, man, they're awesome.
That's very
True
Slav of
Slav.
you. That's very
Yeah,
Slavic.
dude. You go to Serbia, you eat these all day, man.
Yeah.
True,
You
true
got to get
And
them.
I'm eating.
The proper way is, in a cone made out of newspaper. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah. And I eat the shell too because I'm too lazy to crack it open and
I could never crack it
What?
open in my mouth, man.
You
man,
you
that's
you eat
that's
the
work.
shell? Damn,
Hell yeah,
nigga.
dude.
That's some
You
true
know,
Maximizing
like
my
Slav shit.
sodium
it's weird,
intake.
but like when I eat pistachios, I'll lick the shells afterwards, man.
Oh yeah, for me, I'll do that definitely.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, dude.
nice and salty.
This is a bit too much salt, I think.
That's a lot of fiber, Vic.
Well, fiber is good. It's never too much
Yeah,
fiber.
yeah,
Really hard enough
yes.
getting fiber.
Eating the freaking shells, man. That's hardcore. I can't do that. I don't do it to a
Really?
baby.
It's not bad.
I bite a
I eat
dude's
orange
shell once.
peels too.
I'm a huge pussy, dude.
Orange peels
Uh,
are pretty okay. They're a little bitter, but they're not bad.
I can't differentiate between sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. They're all kind of the same to me.
Oh yeah.
They just do the crunch thing when I eat it, and that's about it.
Have you eaten sunflower seed butter?
No, I haven't. What's it like?
Oh, it's good, man. It's tasty.
Hmm.
What's the live chat saying?
What did he mean by this? I meant
Yeah.
nothing. You're imagining things, man. Um,
If the alt
Geo
right was
says,
serious, they would only have meetings about strategy in public and maintain squeaky clean public image and run for office. Exactly.
or there would be
Yes.
or there would be like a completely private group and just completely closed off, and no one would
Yeah.
really know what they were about. Let's see.
The
Geo
guy
Yeah,
who
well,
says,
that's
okay,
reactionaries. They're doing that all the time.
guys, listen.
I'm in a few of those.
Alt right listeners. The guy who tells you to not worry about optics and to fly a giant Nazi flag around, that guy's a Fed. The
Yeah,
guy who
it's a cop.
comes to the meeting talking about building Molotov cocktails with the black sun on them, that guy's a Fed.
yeah,
When you
Stop
talk
listening
about
to
doxing
Feds.
people 5 inches away from you, even if he's a 5 inches to the left, it's probably a Fed, dude.
even if
That
That's
he's
a
guy's
not
a
a
fellow
literal
Fed.
traveler,
Fed.
dude.
If he's not a literal Fed, he's a spiritual Fed.
He's a Fed in the
He's a
soul. It's the
Fed in
worst
his
kind of
heart.
Fed.
Yeah.
He's a Fed for
Uh,
the devil, nigga.
Here we go. Geo, my man Geo, he says, "This is why I use my real name. It keeps me from doing anything stupid, and you will never me legit as an anon persona." Okay, a little language error there, but I
Oh, I
got what
use
you're
my real
saying.
name on a lot of things. I mean, like pretty sure everyone on Twitter finds out my name like within a day of following me.
You can't dox yourself. I mean, you can't get doxed if you dox yourself.
I've doxed myself so
Yeah.
many times as nothing has ever happened. Even when I like pissed off people, like pretty relatively, large accounts, nothing ever happens. Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to come to your house. Like no, they're not interested in meeting you.
Yeah.
Even if they want to beat you up, they kind of just like want to like think you into death rather than
It's like
do
the
anything
forbidden
to you.
fruit thing too. It's like the forbidden fruit thing too, because They want to go after the guys who like zealously protect their identity. But I put my face on Twitter all the time. I didn't put
Yeah.
my full name because I don't want to get like ultra doxxed.
You put your
But
face on Twitter. I put my gamer tag on Twitter, bro. You don't even know what kind of risks I'm taking.
this is real oppression, okay?
Alfred
Yeah,
Bromega
no, I mean that's
says.
pretty serious, man. You might get bully hunted. That's pretty bad.
Alfred Bromega
No
says
one
something
knows
really
oppression
nice.
like us Minecraft YouTubers.
He says, fellas, just want to say thank you so much for the podcast. I legitimately wouldn't have found Christ without it or explored orthodoxy.
Glory to God, glory to God.
Amen. Amen. I'm sorry. I almost was
Christ has
American.
risen.
Truly is risen.
Yes, indeed. It's not so nasty.
Charlottesville was a great day, quote unquote, for Richard Spencer and a good friend of the Bush family. If he isn't a
Yeah.
Fed deep state operative, then I know nothing. You know, Richard Spencer's an interesting guy. I mean, once from watching CF, I naturally had developed a negative opinion of him. But when I actually see him on like live streams, so like when he was debating Jay Dyer, well, debate quote I use that usually, but
Yeah.
he seemed like a nice enough guy. Like I don't know.
Pretty
I don't know what to
amiable.
think of him now. I mean, he still says a lot of really stupid things, but maybe he's not as
He's
bad.
relatively
Okay.
charismatic. He's
Hey
definitely.
Vic,
The irony
Yeah.
is that he
Vic,
has probably the best image in the alt right, which like
Mm-hmm.
that says a lot.
He can
Vic,
present himself.
to quote you
What I
in
say.
reference to the Lucas question,
Oh no,
nice is not good.
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Like, nice does not equal goodness. Someone could be nice as fuck. I'm
Oh,
sorry, I
geez.
shouldn't be swearing. I'm trying to cut out swearing this year hard. So, someone could be really, really nice, and it doesn't automatically make them a good person because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that could be just a shield to hide some really bad inner horrors.
Mm-hmm. The debate Dyer had with Spencer was horrible. Spencer spoke too much. I gave up watching. It wasn't really a debate. It was really more of a discussion, and it ended up with Spencer saying to Jay, "He said, well, you've made the case for orthodoxy beautifully," and they just kind of started talking about like Bond movies or whatever.
Stupid.
Yeah, I
Jay
know.
is Jay is solid, solid. I love Jay Dyer, but one thing I think he has to master to really own like kind of like attention whores like Richard Spencer, is just like the sound bites. You know,
What do you
like
mean?
look at some of the evangelical apologists like William Craig or Ravi Zacharias. Like they know how to like hone their arguments into like short phrases that just decimate their opponents.
That's
Jay
true.
is Jay's a really smart guy and he's really well read. I cannot read as much as Jay Dyer has. Holy crap! I'm mad jelly of that book room he's always taping from. Taping
Hmm.
room, old faggot. Uh, man, but I think there's sometimes where he'll say in like 2 minutes what other apologists will say in like 20 seconds. That's not
Hmm.
a detriment then because his arguments are still solid. I think sometimes, especially when you're dealing with more intellectual people or people who can gas on a lot more, it's better to have longer arguments that kind of like are airtight. But
Hmm.
there's sometimes where you need that sound bite, just like that scissor cut sound bite right there at their freaking ankles,
Good
and
old,
that's it. They're done.
not necessarily a gotcha argument, but a legitimate argument presented as a gotcha argument.
Yeah. Just in brevity, I guess.
Right.
But all
Yeah,
that said, I mean, it like if it was an honest, if it was if it was an honest, straight debate between Spencer and Dyer, I mean, forget about it. Spencer would lose completely, and I think it's why he backed out in the end because he got so much flack
He had
for
no answer to.
that stupid Easter article.
Oh yeah, that's
What
right.
an embarrassing article, dude.
It's Easter, guys. I did my research.
I did my research. Like, look at these old advertisements from the 50s or the 20s.
Hmm.
Like, this 8th century book says that. Well, my rebuttal is this 9th century book. Like, look, that comes after. That comes after. You're talking about so stupid.
Jay is the smartest guy on Bloodsports. Even JF is just a brainlet in terms of philosophy and politics by comparison. That's
Oh
true.
yeah, definitely.
But the thing about Jay on Bloodsports is that he's actually too smart for Bloodsports. It
These guys are.
a lot of the fun of
He's-
Bloodsports is watching the idiots fight.
Mhm.
And like when
I
you
think
have
Jay needs to be like the
Jay
guy
on
in the
there,
chair.
you really need to like push the topic a bit further than like is God real? Because that's a debate that I've heard a million times.
Jay needs to be
God,
like
real.
It needs to be like MK
the
Ultra. Let's talk about like the brainwashing and the sex trafficking
no.
and the
Let's talk
demon worship. That's the good
Jay
stuff.
has to be
Stuff I
like
wanna see on
the Jay has to be like the guy in the chair, puppet master for like a dumb guy on Bloodsports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear Andy Worski do Jay Dyer's bidding. Just
Poor Worski.
Worski's great. I love him. He's the best.
Yeah, but he got
I wish he didn't
freaking
talk
like
about
he
his
got
masturbation
brutally
habits.
nagged.
You know what? Pray for Worski. Actually, pray for Worski because he needs to quit fapping.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah.
it's a struggle.
That's-
And apparently, he's dire. So
he
yeah,
said
definitely pray for Worski.
he said
Don't stop praying for Worski.
what it was his he went on nofap until that Count Dankula guy who was arrested for the Nazi pug thing, right? He said every day that he's not released or whatever they leave him alone.
Well, okay, then we're gonna
He-
pray that he stays in prison for life.
yeah, exactly. Honestly, though, I would have. I mean, if it were up to me, I'd throw that Count Dankula guy in jail just for how he looks, man. Because, like, come on.
Are
You
those
know,
gauges
I'm not
to
gonna
the
side.
brig with you?
I'm not gonna
Uh,
side with the British police ever in my life. Fuck those
Yeah.
guys. You can't
No, it's
Harrison,
crime.
comic trick.
Guys, let's as a squad vow to be knife free in 2018.
No, actually, I saw an article today.
My knife.
The UK banned sports. We got to be sport free, fellas.
Sport free, bro.
I mean,
missing my
sports are
knife.
such an amazing multi-tool. It's just too good to be true. Only reserved for the elite.
Does that spoon have tines? What are you, a racist?
Yeah. And Harrison Lee, yeah, Harrison Lee says the JF is just a sophist, and yes, the chat answered yes, and that's true. Basically, the argument that was happening between JF and Jay Dyer was like, JF was saying like, "Oh, I do not accept your logic," and Jay was like, well, in your denial, you've accepted my logic because you denied it using this logic. It's it's Aristotle and the sophist. Literally, like that's exactly what happened.
It's like
And so
there is
it's just-
absolute truth. No, there isn't. So then there
No,
is.
I'm not talking about the universal absolute truth. I'm talking about the local universal absolute
Stupid.
truth.
It was trash. But that's how it is with a lot of atheists. Is that they just you can come out to them with like all this evidence, and they'll be like, "Well, I just don't find I just don't find it very convincing."
You're gonna have to see the evidence. It's like, dude, come on, look at what you're saying. You're asking for physical evidence of the immaterial.
There was a debate between the guy from Inspiring Philosophy and this guy called Godless Engineer
Oof.
about the Jesus myth question, right? Like, okay, is Jesus a myth? And dude, freaking IP just totally wrecked this guy, man. He was he was kind of hilariously just cutting every argument he had. Like, well, actually, this document doesn't exist, whatever. He's like, actually, here it is, and he starts posting up pictures of the actual document. Like, maybe you read like a Rational Wiki or something and got confused.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
Emperor. Sorry, go. No, you finish. You finish.
He sets up the whole argument that there's plenty of evidence for the existence of Christ in history, and at the end the guy he has no leg to stand on. His arguments have all flopped, and he's like, well, I just don't find it personally convincing. Like, okay, dude, you're full of shit then. You're
Yeah.
dishonest.
That's another quarter
Dishonesty.
inch square
Hey man,
target.
and somehow you say Sandy Hook never happened, and then you're the weird one.
Look, all I'm saying is the feds had no real reason to do what they did at Ruby Ridge.
Well,
They did.
that's true though.
It's true. Okay, let's just establish a few facts. Okay, Jesus Christ existed, Sandy Hook never happened, and the government did 9/11.
Hmm. You know what's interesting?
Well,
Didn't
actually, the
they?
Jews did 9/11.
I'm sorry.
The Jews did 9/11.
Oh, that's what I said. The government did 9/11.
um, for Sandy Hook, didn't they didn't they rebuild the high school or like take it down and rebuild it or something like
They
that?
No, they
instantly
didn't rebuild it.
bulldozed
They
it.
knocked it down.
Did you know that? I believe didn't they say the same thing was going to happen for this Florida shooting? I heard something about like lawmaker. It says I remember seeing the headline. It was like lawmakers want to demolish the school.
Of course they did, because it was a
Did that actually happen, or was it just
I
No,
don't
they
know
a
what
decided
sliding
not to
happened.
show?
do it. They decided to not demolish it, but like they're gonna tear down some of the walls inside and like redo the entire interior,
Okay,
which
well
is
that's
basically the same
normal.
thing as
Okay,
the same shit.
Yeah, in
so they want to make
Columbine, they actually rebuilt like they did the renovations on the school, which
okay.
there's actually evidence that Columbine happened. Like we saw the bodies,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we got the diaries. It made sense with Sandy Hook. Like this person didn't exist.
Oh, yeah, Samson. It's not the Jews. It's the Irish. Come on, dude. You should know this by now.
The Irish, like that time the Irish invaded Canada in order to free Ireland.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
a great
historically
story,
literate,
dude.
so.
It's totally real, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Boy,
That's
big
all
girl, it's
actually
just like
happened.
another potato famine.
Aye, the British are fighting over there in Canada. Let's go help out the Canucks.
I think that really
That,
happened.
that that'll win us Ireland back
We
somehow.
went to Pennsylvania and we saw this museum on Lake Erie, and it had all the history of the region, and it had this weird little display up on top of the second floor about the this battle that the Irish had against the British on Canadian soil. And we're there with Sean, aka Rad Trad Chad, Sean Moss on Twitter. And he's just we were like, what the hell, Sean? We find him in front of this display. Like, what the hell are you reading? He's like, I just can't believe this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this is real. This really happened.
That's right. War of
Sean's
1812.
always like shocked at the weird things about Anglo history. He's always like, guys, what the hell is wrong with my people?
Oh,
Why would
man.
they do this? Look, they
What's the
were
chat
really
saying?
drunk, and by the time they realized they were on the boat to Canada, it was already too late. So they
It
had to
was too
commit.
late.
Like that's what whiskey does to you sometimes, man.
Chat slowed down a bit. Let's see. Someone says, I used to be a fan of AIU in my atheist days. So naive back then. AIU. I don't know what that is.
Atheism
Atheist
is
Is it
is
like,
unstoppable.
unstoppable.
never heard of it.
Oh, he's
No.
super obnoxious, dude. Holy crap.
Are they like the, what's it called? Occupy Democrats of atheism? Or whatever they're
Yeah.
called. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely. He's like, you want a real atheist unless you're anti-theist.
what?
Yay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he's like, look, there was some gay BuzzFeed video like, I'm an atheist but I'm nice or whatever, and so, and
I,
he
I
did
can
a
you can still
response
be
video to it.
moral.
He
You
did
can
a
still be
response
moral
video to it,
well.
and he's like, actually, actually this video is stupid. You're not a real atheist unless you're fighting religion tooth and nail every day.
Okay, Kami.
Sean
Okay,
is my
communist.
favorite at.
Yeah, Shaw the real MVP. He's back on Twitter. He's not back in the chat yet, which concerns me. I got peer-pressure him to get back on the chat.
Oh, he left? I didn't even know.
No, wait, he's still part of the chat. He
He's
just hasn't
not
chimed
his
in
chats.
since
Right, right.
Lent ended.
Texts though.
He's a big brain guy. He's cool.
No, his head is actually gigantic in real life.
He's
There you
actually
go.
actually has a
Case
really
in
big
point.
head.
It's really large.
There's a great moment. I think it's long enough in the chat that like that Antifa isn't watching anymore. But when he came down for the wedding, I couldn't pick him up because I was working, so my wife picked him up from the airport, and he's like looking at, and he's driving to my apartment with her in the car, him and Justin, and he just goes to her, "There's Carly. There's a lot of black people around here," and she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah. There are a lot of Haitians," and he,
You're gonna get
uh,
flagged. You're gonna
"Hey
get flagged.
YouTube, yeah, YouTube, don't flag me. I'm just describing events." He goes, "Actually, I'm pretty sure they're called niggers."
Oh,
Oh boy.
and now your wife hates him.
Oh my god.
Let's see. Low Poly Priest says JF
That's,
is
that's,
too.
that's, that's absolutely his kind of humor, just like to make someone as uncomfortable as he can.
Oh man. So JF's. I'm sorry. Low Poly Priest says JF is too stupid to realize he's a postmodernist. If he changes his argument from "there's no absolute truth" to that there's no reason there's no reason to assume you can have access to absolute truth, his argument would become so much stronger. For some reason, he didn't think of that. He must be some kind of idiot savant, incredible at fist surgery, but can't charm an autistic woman to make les white bébés. Incredible
That's
at
because
fist
no one likes
surgery.
French people.
Just fish
Because the
surgery?
French are. It's because the French are awful human beings, and no one wants to mate with them.
That's true.
That's the reason.
That's just that's a fact, man. You just can't deny it.
I don't
Fact, bro, it's
understand why can't
science.
he find himself a Ukrainian bride? They're all over. They're like giving him away, dude. Like I just literally type in Ukrainian brides and like there they are. There's a cat.
Wow,
They're all model worthy.
interesting.
I'm not joking either. Like this is an industry in
Dang.
my country. This is what we do. We export our women
Jeez.
because our ethno
Wow.
state sucks.
The God thought to say, but it's low quality.
Our ethno state sucks, but what it does produce is cute girls. So like, don't like the more cute girls you have.
The main
Not
export.
your ethno state doesn't get any better. Or
Okay, enough seeds for me. I'm gonna turn
What's
into a freaking. I don't know, man. I'm gonna dry up completely.
did I show you guys my mom's 23andMe? I haven't done my own, but like I think hers is pretty representative.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was pure Slav, right?
I was 100% Slav, like literally like
Dang.
99.
Awesome, bro.
I'm 99.7%
He was
Ruthenian.
born squatting.
Born squatting.
So now like like I didn't care about miscegenation before, but now I've been thinking about it. Like
Yeah,
do I
no.
really want to turn my bloodline into a mudline? Do
I've
I?
been thinking
I don't think I do.
I've been
Not,
sort of thinking
not
about
when
the
you
same
can
thing.
get all these Ukrainian women for free. I just don't get it.
Hey
It's like,
fellas,
shoot.
I know I'm a strong independent capitalist, but if I saw a fine communist GF walking around, I'd totally turn my bloodline into a breadline, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah, but that's actually Slavic, so that's actually perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
I would not feel bad about that at all.
Yeah, I've been thinking about the same thing. I'm like, well, my family, as far as I know, they it's all from like the Balkan region, and I'm like, I got to move back to Serbia and get a wife there, I don't want to, I don't know, man. Who knows how long this pure blood's gonna last?
Fellas, I know there's 1,001 niggas out there with that feel with no GF problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll say this is that like if you really want to solve that problem, and you should really want to solve that problem, because that's honestly, like that's as important as your career. Because that's like, if your
It's more
career
important.
is your monetary future, like your bloodline is like the all the other parts of your future. So you should focus on that as much as you're focusing on college. And if that means finding a foreign girl, freaking do that, man. Because I totally get the thing about American girls.
Yeah.
They're overall awesome.
Yeah.
Even the girls who are
I
not American by blood, or not like white American girls, the girls who are here and they're
First
immigrants, but they're
generation,
born here or
second
whatever.
generation Chinese. Ugh,
I
a
see
lot of
the
those
worst.
girls.
I see the worst of that stuff every Friday night, man. Like,
There's a
wait, it's Friday
listen.
night, isn't it?
It's not even a racial thing because there's people who be like, oh yeah, those white girls. Listen, man. There's 1,000. Like, I live in Miami, which is Town, USA. Okay, and let me tell you, they all have like retard white girl mind virus here.
Hmm.
Oh
They all
yeah,
have
I
it.
definitely see it among like Dominicans around here.
It's freaking crazy. My wife's family, okay, she has like three siblings, right?
Hmm.
All of them have the mind virus. None of them want children. One of them has a house full of collectibles,
Wow.
like wall to wall. The other one, he would if he lived in his own place, but he doesn't. He lives in someone else's place. He lives in his mom's place, and it's full of his collectibles. The other one is like obnoxious feminist half SJW. I'm telling you, man. Like, and none of them want children. They hate children.
They all want to
My
die.
wife, yeah,
They're the people that share the "I want to die" memes. I live in a big
Epic.
old
my
house. I just want to die.
my wife thankfully loves kids and she wants kids and she has me to reinforce that in her. Or the other freaking cuck guys these people are with, they're just like, oh, I don't know, kid, faggot. Fuck, man. It's not easy, dude. And I get
Mm.
that it's not easy, but you gotta try. You
See,
gotta fucking put yourself out there, dude.
there are those people on YouTube who do like gaming related content, right? And you look at the background of their videos, and they have like just shelves like lined up with video games, and I'm just thinking like, how do you like? It gets to a point where it's like you're spending. How do you spend this amount of money on video games, stupid games, and not just think maybe like in the back of your mind like maybe this isn't maybe I'm not making like an amazing decision right now, maybe there's like because I'm first off I just like look at those people and I'm just like first off how do you afford all that? Where's that money coming from? And like
Where's
how do
anyone's money coming from? I don't get it. How do people have money?
I'm
I can
fucking
tell you
Where
broke.
is it coming from?
I can tell you where the Chinese and Koreans get their money in New York City, but that's about it.
Shit.
I live in you guys see how beautiful my room is? I never bring girls here because they're not worthy.
No girls allowed.
No girls allowed except my mom. Please.
Well,
Hecking right.
I'm streaming from my car right now, so
Got that iron ready on the shelf.
I got
Quick
all sorts
access.
of literature here for the like literally all sorts. I got gunsmithing manuals. I got fantasy novels. I got Marx. I got the Orthodox Study Bible. I got it all.
I
I'm
can
never
show
gonna
you.
share.
Wait, how do I?
I'm in my car right now, so all you see is my big Orthodox cross I use uh, to
Pretty
keep
epic.
the road rage demons away.
There we go.
Yeah.
This is my epic setup. Just got my computer, my lamp,
All right. So
some
what's
icons I printed out because I don't have access to real ones, but I printed out and put it on the wall. Works.
Yes.
I got a dollar or two over here just in the
whoa,
dark.
big money baller over here?
Got invites. Oh, I got these awesome free icons from a website.
I
I
got
don't
one too.
remember. Yeah, I think I told you guys about it, right? And
Yes,
I
I have the
first time
same
I
one you
didn't.
have, Vic.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
it on my
nice.
computer all the time.
I got the. I remember the first time I ordered, I never got it, and I just ordered another one,
Wait,
and
I have the
they
other one
both
in my
came in.
wallet actually. I have that
So,
one you have.
which one? The
The
Pantocrator?
Pantocrator.
Nice.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
that
this
was
one.
awesome, man. I
That's
also
what I
got
have as
my
well.
got my Seraphim Rose, which I never finished reading. I use a piece of
Oh
Oh,
man,
that
you gotta
bounty as
finish it.
I
the.
don't know how you never finished that one, dude. That
Oh
one's
Dude,
yeah,
I
dude, I was
just.
engrossed by it, man. It's incredible.
But
cool.
I use a bounty towel as a bookmark. Oh, this is awesome. Here we go. I got this little magnet of the Church of Saint Sava. in Belgrade, which is totally epic.
Nice.
And I got my good old Chirilica Cyrillic alphabet because I
Oh,
keep
nice.
forgetting it.
Huh. That's cool.
And it's just, I mean, it's pretty dark, but you see like some textbooks. Oh yeah, one more thing. I don't want to give like a whole tour of my room because it's not much to look at. But this bad boy right here. Look at this,
Oh yeah,
man.
I got the same one. I love that
Oh,
one,
look at
man.
this, man. Oh, it's
The
amazing.
hardcore KJV.
Sure, it's a King James. Say whatever, it might have errors, but look at this, man. The text is just like, it's just the right size. The formatting is pristine. You got
Got the
Gustavo Dore
illustrations.
illustrate. Oh,
How
bellissimo,
much
man.
did
This
this?
is amazing.
How much did that book cost?
It was 20
Like
bucks,
20
dude.
bucks.
What?
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude,
What
this
the-
is
go to
like
Barnes and
steal.
Nobles, man.
That's
Yeah,
a great
man.
value.
And you know what? The one when I bought this, they had buy two get one. No, I mean it was buy one get one free, and
Okay.
so I got this, and I got a collection of H.P. Lovecraft's works, and
Oh, nice.
I'm reading through that. It's awesome, man. Awesome stuff.
I just
Let me
got
put
that
this
in an
thing back.
audiobook.
That's trad, man. Unironically,
Yeah,
that's
very
trad.
trad. You know, because I'm illiterate. I'm not gonna read it myself.
Of course.
Yeah.
An audiobook.
Like,
I live
Same thing.
surrounded by books. I don't read them.
This is a legitimate question. Did Christ know how to read?
Yeah, of course he did.
well, yeah,
Okay.
he wrote on the
I mean,
ground.
well, he
Read in the synagogues from.
No, but I mean, okay. Sorry, I just exposed my illiteracy there, but don't worry, I'm working on it.
Gotta
I
pay
swear.
attention in church, bro.
That's true.
You don't have to know how to read.
Yeah, dude. It's tried to spread it all orally, man. Let's see. Is this the room
Exactly.
called
That's
Vic?
literally the definition of the trad.
I bet if you travel back in time to Christ's era, he would speak to you in English. Be like, "What the hell are you doing here? I didn't permit time travel."
Go home.
That'd be funny.
You have to go back.
I had to go back, and he would just undo the entire thing. He'd be like, "Back in your house." Oh, I guess it didn't work.
Jeez, man, I better maybe I should time travel to the future and just go straight to the judgment. Hey, man, told you no time travel.
And then your
I
time
told you
machine
once, told you twice.
your time machine inexplicably stops working.
It just becomes a bunch of cakes.
It just sends you straight to
Okay.
hell instead.
Just throw it out. Okay,
Well,
like the
Go ahead.
like the video game thing. The video game thing. Um, it's not only a question of the money, but like the time you're sinking into these games. And I don't want to sound like too dad like, but like, why are you playing these games, son? You can be talking to girls out there.
yeah.
Okay, but to be fair,
There's a happy
where are
medium,
these
though.
girls?
What if you game
Okay.
with the girls?
Talking, okay, yeah, but yeah, like that's like every dumb gamer's like dream. Like, if only I could find a girlfriend who likes video games as much as I do. It's like, shut up, shut the fuck up, nerd.
Dude, you have no idea how many gamer girl jokes they go around where to
Yeah, like
people I talk
fucking
to.
Beardson over here. Like, I'm gonna drink my gamer girl pee.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Don't
Gamer
know
girl.
how Gamer Girl P. You're not part of Gamergate. Like that. It's like if you're talking about Gamergate, you're not talking about Gamer Girl P. You don't know what you're talking about.
Gamer girl
It's
foot
just-
sweat.
It's so gross, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So gross.
Uh,
Man,
and every
it's
gamer, when you game for a certain period of time, you produce a substance called gamer gunk. It can be horrible.
like, it's enough.
Okay,
Enough.
I'm done.
I'm cutting you off, Vic.
Why did I invite this wacky teen onto
This wacky teen on the chat. What's the live
Beards-
chat say?
Beards
Live
is
chat.
This whole
Gamer Girl. That's what the live chat says.
Gamer girl
what did it
T?
say?
Oh no! I'm sorry. I think I ruined the entire stream now. Now we're gonna.
Oh yeah, this stream has gone off the rails hard.
Oh yeah.
There was good material in
I
here.
was like, guys are gonna be so focused, and no.
You got a good
Let's see.
hour in
Didn't happen.
there.
There's nothing to gain from video games. They're 100% absolute total waste of time and money. Well, actually, didn't you know that video games actually develop hand-eye coordination? But you didn't know that. I read
Hey,
that
man.
online,
I think
too.
what else?
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna go
developed
out
that?
on a limb here.
Shooting guns.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. If I never played Xenogears, I would have never enjoyed church. You know, I'm sorry.
Really? I never heard. I mean, I never heard of it. So
Yeah, like Evangelion, like there's giant robots and there's like the Christian imagery. It's like
yeah.
that, but like there's giant robots, but it's Gnostic instead.
Oh, that sucks.
You learn a lot of
But all right.
vocabulary words that you would not have learned. Like
Well,
Okay.
that's the benefit of RPGs. Is
yeah.
your SAT score goes up. It
You
also
learn.
helps you with the
Yeah.
bad religion.
You learn
Yeah.
the. Sorry, go ahead.
If you play Xenogears, it turns out that Jesus was actually a small, immortal Japanese boy.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. And he keeps getting killed every time until finally he kills the fake god and liberates the world. That the Gnostic.
Oh yeah, every
But he
JRPG
does it
you
in a
gotta
giant
kill
robot.
God, bro. And it always ends with you killing God. It's like, well, it's on
Yeah,
God if I can
but
kill him. You know that
but he's
doesn't add
not the
up.
real god. He's the
Oh, okay.
man-made god. See,
Yeah, he's a demiurge.
Yeah, bro.
yeah, no, literally, because he's his whole power relies. He only creates mankind so he can kill them and reabsorb them, and then he can fly to Earth. Like that's the
He's, a,
whole plot of Xenogears. That's the
he's like
spoiler.
the freaking the Joe Rogan podcast right now or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and the
Just so
Xenosaga,
wicked.
like in the spin-off, like that's not kind of like related to Xenogears, but like is kind of related. The same people made it in Xenosaga. Jesus is actually a character that like joins your party. Um,
Okay, you caught my
I'm not making
attention.
this up. Like I know the lore very
What are
well.
his stats?
Um,
Okay.
What is his stats?
his name is Chaos, right? With spelled with a
It's a K.
lowercase c always.
Oh,
Right. And his attacks are like he just punches things with his gloves, but like his attacks become more powerful the shittier his gloves are. So his
I
most
guess I missed the
powerful.
part about I guess I missed the part in the Gospels where Jesus got the power gloves.
Well, this is in the
I
future.
guess like I skimmed that chapter by accident.
This is after like the Earth is lost and everybody lives in space, and the Catholic Church has something called the immigrant fleet.
What?
Like I said, I'm not the final boss in the second game is a space pope.
Crazy.
Not making this up. Like he literally is called the patriarch. He's a pope. Uh, and he looks extremely Catholic, and he tries to shoot a giant robot beam at a planet, and you have to like kill him.
Mhm.
And then there's the fourth.
That's straight from the Bible, guys. Actually,
And
Yeah.
then there's the testaments, right? That there are 4 testament characters, right? And they're
there's
like,
4 testaments, guys.
yeah, exactly, and they're white, black, blue, and red, right? Like the Bible colors.
Bible call. Okay.
There's colors associated with each of the gospels because priestly vestments, man. Look into it. There's lore about it.
All right.
Oh dang, I believe it.
But
It's true facts, guys.
Next
Oh,
year, calling it right now. Next
Xenosaga
year-
is great. Jesus is like the one thing that keeps the universe together.
Next year, I'm calling it right
the
now.
enemies are called the Gnosis, right? They're dead human
Oh.
souls that hate mankind, and they just keep coming back to turn other people into Gnosis. Those are demons, you know? But they're space
What are
demons.
you saying, Vic?
Oh, next year they're gonna find a new transcript, a new piece of the gospel, missing part, the part that was missing from Acts, the part where the apostles gamed with Jesus. Oh, I'm sorry, just thinking about
They
it.
finally find Jesus' Minecraft server.
We're going to find Jesus' character sheet
Uh,
with all his feats and his stats.
I gotta take
His-
this stream to my priest now in a confession.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's gone.
There's a little bit of heresy going on in this one.
Oh yeah. He gets the perk divinity, maxes out all his stats, bro.
Oh jeez.
Has anyone here read David Bentley Hart? Never heard of him, but that's just
Yes,
because I'm
I
a
have
brainlet.
read David Bentley Hart. I've read a lot of articles by him. I've listened to a lot of interviews. The only book I've read by him is The Doors of the Sea. That's a good one. It is with the so-called problem of evil. It was during the tsunami that happened like 10 years ago now. Jeez.
Boy. Rick, stop
Um,
stealing cars while you're on the.
Come on,
he's
man. Have some decency. I'm sorry.
here's the thing about Hart is that I think part of him is very insecure about being as smart as he is and also being a Christian. So he tries to like fluff up his vocabulary like to this ridiculous degree. Like there are things he takes like two or three sentences to say with really flowery vocabulary in his books and his articles that he could say in like one sentence. There are things where he tries to like really like ham up, and it it comes off the stronger. It comes off more strongly when he's trying to defend his heresy, which is his heresy right now is the universalist heresy that hell is temporary for everyone, and in the end, all will be saved. That's that's universalist heresy, and he's been showing that for like a few years now.
Mm.
But in the speech he gave when he was first showing that, like he cranked up his vocabulary to the max, and I feel like it was only in service to his insecurity. Like he could have stated that stuff way more simply, but he wants to like make it seem more intellectual than it is.
Mm.
Because his arguments are basically like, oh well, if God good, why bad thing happen? Like it,
Oh, I
they
just read a
weren't.
book. Oh, Angels and Demons. Not the one that you're thinking of, but the one that's actually about the theology of angels and demons. That had a really good discourse on the problem of evil.
Mm-hmm. Hey, new just got some news regarding the Syria situation. So, there we go. So, Justin, U.S. administration official confirmed to me that a decision to strike Syria has been taken. Confirmed targets as of now: research facility in Barzed district, Damascus, and Dumair Air Base in Damascus. Let's see. And then apparently, as of like 15 minutes ago, the attack is officially over. Damascus International Airport is unharmed, and confirm fake news. Masyaf being hit and Tartus being hit. So hear about that? It's fake.
Sick.
Yeah, I hate that this is happening, man. Like, come on, dude.
I mean,
I'm
I
not
heard
gonna say
about the
anything.
upcoming attacks being like the last ones, and that they like warn all the people there that they're coming, like so they can evacuate all the personnel. And
Truvada Trump strikes again.
Yeah, man, and it's a shame because I understand why people would voted for him at the time because he was saying we got to get out of the Middle East and all that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but then
that's literally why I voted for him, and I very drove that point very hard. So
yeah, and then he
it
just
sucks every
flips the
time
neo
he fucking does this.
yeah, and he just flips the neocom switch on us. Jeff says by saying that let's see, by saying that in by saying that there's no hell, then you or hell's a temporary place, then you say that there is no consequence for sin. You don't need Christ if you say hell is temporary. That's very true.
Yeah, there's literally
Well,
no point, I guess. It
his
depends.
argument is that hell is like a purification chamber, basically.
But that's
Hmm.
like the
That
purgatory, like Catholics.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like permanent purgatory for everybody.
It literally
It's
just
silly.
just upgrade to Catholicism at that point. Like that's really it.
Right.
Well, because
Like,
he's
everybody gets
he's
to purgatory because there are nobody just except like a few saints go straight to paradise. Like
oh, that's what Duffy. That's what that's why Duffy called him in the last episode we did before the hiatus. He was like, "Oh yeah, Dave Bentley Hart, the great Catholic theologian."
Hmm.
but
Like
basically, right? I mean,
he's
that's
only nominally Orthodox. He's only Orthodox by by membership. He's not really Orthodox in his practice, his belief, his theology, nothing.
yeah,
Hmm.
basically.
Oh man, Twitter's blowing up about this serious stuff. All the
I
freaking idiot had
It's
to do was
madness.
lower taxes and deport illegals.
Oh, by the way, everyone, I'm trying to do like a fast next week for Syria. So if you could join me and just like avoid eating too much, and especially no meat or dairy for the following week,
Hmm.
starting Monday, Sunday, whichever. Whichever day you believe the week starts on, and just stick with it for a week and pray for Assad and
Yeah,
Syria. And
definitely
he,
pray for Syria. One of the largest parts of the Christian world, and now we're
One of
lobbing
the
missiles
oldest
at him.
too, man.
Old,
literally,
yeah. They have
literally like
a
Antioch,
they
like
have
the
direct
street
yeah
called straight, like jeez.
they have direct lineage.
Awful.
They'll blow that up too if you
Yeah.
give them a chance.
Damascus
Of course.
residents to BBC News. It was mayhem above us. Most missiles were shot down. I saw 20 or more anti-air missiles launched. They'd fly really high, then start weaving across like they were following their target. I didn't see the cruise missiles, but I saw some falling debris nearby. Okay, so it doesn't seem like it's like
He hit
hell
an airport,
raining
and
on
nothing
there.
mattered. Like
Yeah,
basically,
but still, I don't know, man.
it's maybe it's gonna be an annual thing from now on. Because
An
this
annual
last time
thing.
it happened, it was exactly the same time.
That's
And
true. Yeah, it felt like a few months ago, though.
next
Crazy.
year the third annual Syria bombing will take place. We'll make it into a holiday. We'll keep doing it after the war's over. It'll just be fireworks from now on.
Right.
I gotta wonder now. Is this some kind of like Masonic ritual thing by doing this every year? I don't know.
It might be. I mean,
Oh
for
shoot!
like
I'm gonna get the stream
something to
shut
do
down
with
if
the
I.
moon.
I don't know,
The
man.
first time that Trump attacked Syria, attacked that airport.
We all freaked
The
out.
next morning, that's when I made that video. That Elvis is laughing at you video. Back when me and CF were still talking, sadly.
Uh,
But that next that Sunday, I went to church, and I was at the church I was going to at the time. I was an altar server, so I always had a chance to speak to my priest before and after the liturgy. And I'm like, "You see what happened last night?" And my priest is a truly holy man, and he's up in a different city now, and I visited him a few times actually. He's a really great man, and but he was also like really like honestly like woke on the freaking Jews. I
Careful.
spoke to him, and when I spoke to him about it, I'm like, so what do you think about this? And he goes, well, sadly, it's because Trump is listening to his daughter, and his daughter's an apostate who married a Jew. So of
yeah,
course they're gonna attack Syria, and they're gonna have all these traitorous ethics where there's no truth or or, or virtue behind any decision they have.
right.
And he was very upfront. He would just like say Jew very. He would talk about Jews from the pulpit. I mean, the parish I went to, that he left, it had a lot of problems. But I think one thing that they were good on is that they weren't dumb when it came to that topic. You know,
Mm.
like you couldn't like mention like the word. You couldn't say the word Zionist. Now people were like, "Hey, you can't talk about that."
Yeah, they still do
And people
that.
were, yeah. I mean, it's not that common in Orthodoxy because Orthodoxy is very trad. So a lot of people were still like, "Oh, you got those Christ killers." But
Oh, that's the
I mean,
Greeks. The Greeks rate always the most anti-Semitic people in Europe.
oh my God, there was this little old Greek lady. I told this
Yeah,
story
this
at my
story.
wedding. It was so funny. This little old Greek lady that me and my godfather were talking about the whole Syria thing and that same Sunday actually. And this little Jewish lady, she goes, "Ah, the Jews," and I was like, yeah." And she in her Greek accent, she goes, I don't want to see any Jews alive." Like, holy crap, lady, you're crazy
Man,
as hell.
Do you ever
uh,
wonder if that was maybe like she meant to say something else like while I
No, dude, she was totally being honest. She's like, "I want to just all see them go."
yeah.
Jeez, lady.
when
I'm
you're
praying
like
for the
9 years
conversion. You
old,
just want
you're
to
like
wipe them out.
I I had a similar conversation with the guy who is sort of like the director of this parish I go to. Like to give you just an idea, we don't have a permanent priest, so um, every few weeks it'll be a different priest. but services are legitimate and all that. But man, I was talking to the guy who basically runs the place, and he was in his heavy Greek accent. We were talking about like what was happening in Serbia in the '90s, and he said to me like, he said to me like, it's and in the end, it's all about the money. And I'm just like nodding my head, and I'm thinking to myself, "Don't worry, you can tell me that it's the Jews. I know, dude. You can tell me."
I'm,
Be like,
I'm,
you should be like, yeah, those bankers.
Uh-huh. I should have said that.
a
Uh,
lot more people than people think are woke on the JQ. I found
Yeah.
like
mm-hmm.
common conversation. If you're just being honest, people are like, yeah. I was talking to an
Listen, man.
Albanian guy who was going real fucking hard about it, like, oh yeah, the Jews, they just want everyone to be their slaves who aren't Jews. I'm like, oh dude, all right.
Isn't it
Okay,
crazy how the Talmud says it's okay to like rape, murder, and kill like goyim? It's just out there for everyone to see. No one's doing anything about it. Isn't that kind of weird?
listen, man. My 63-year-old Peruvian mother, okay? Like, before the alt right was a thing, she's there, like, calmly over breakfast one day. I went over to her place and had breakfast. She's there talking, like calmly talking about, like stuff that you would hear on, like, your average TRS episode about Hitler. She was like,
Nice.
he, he, he wasn't the greatest guy, but, the Jews were really ruining Germany. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they were
Excommunicated
bankrupting them. They're just not
white
good people. And
society.
then the usury, and it's like, and I'm like, Mom, what? How do you know this? He's like, oh, it's very obvious. I mean, th- they control the media, so people. I'm like, what?
Well, Peru has a big Nazi scene apparently.
Oh yeah,
Really?
oh, I believe
Yeah,
it.
it's very popular right now, from what I understand. Sort of like the Mongols, like they have a big Nazi thing right now too.
Hmm.
But
Just a
their
little
Jews
off
are
Everywhere that
topic,
is in
but
the West.
just a little off topic, but please, this guy, his username is please. He says in the chat, can you guys comment on Pastor Steven Anderson in particular, but maybe Baptists like him in general? I think I think you
Pastor
guys
Steve
addressed
Anderson,
definitely
Anderson
covered him
before.
before.
Pastor
Yeah.
Stephen Anderson is a vile heretic, a narcissist, and a a rage addict. There's
Yeah, but
That's
he
the
has a
big
nice
yeah.
class of Greek. Like, if you want to learn Greek, he's okay.
there's a there's a prot show that I watch here and there. It's called The Fallen State with Jesse Lee Peterson,
Oh, that was hilarious, dude. That's
which is
I've,
the
I've
real
showed that
Peterson,
I've,
not
I've showed
Jordan Peterson, but the real
I've showed
nigga
that one
is
to
Jesse Lee Peterson.
I've showed that one to friends who are really like aren't religious, and they loved it. It's just it's fucking amazing.
He has Pastor Anderson on there, and it's a good episode because for first he talks about the things he likes about Pastor Anderson, and it's the things I like too, which is he takes a hardline stance on a lot of current issues, and there's a lot of people who are very cowardly about that stuff.
Why you
They'll
want
be like,
to pray?
hey,
I thought you were
we're
tall.
fighting. Like and for that I like him, but
Mhm.
then he gets into this whole like reprobate mindset, theology, just trash. Where you're like, oh yeah, if you're gay, you've already fallen into reprobate mind, so God has God like has rejected you and He's made you fall further into sin. No, the purpose of the reprobate mind is that God allows you to fall into your own sin, so you see the depravity of it and seek redemption. It's not because God gave up on you.
Mhm.
It rains on the just and the unjust alike. Okay? God does not give up on people.
Yeah.
And so, and a different thing that just Peterson starts asking him, like, what do you do if someone in your parish comes up to you and he's like, Pastor, I have these problems, I have these gay thoughts, I want to get rid of them. What do I do? And he's so hardcore in his stupid, like, decentralized, non-authoritarian theology. He's like, well, why would they come to me? It should come to someone else. It's like this is a man's like instinct for confession.
Mm.
Why do you think Prots have altar calls?
Right.
That's like that's like a Walmart version of confession. Okay, like confession is a sacrament ordained by God, and
Mm.
man yearns for that truly, and so everyone else tries to find some sort of weird replacement for it. But that's what it is. Like, and what 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 Anderson's reply to this was like, well, why would they come to me? Well, that's their problem, or they should do something else about it. It's like the people are coming to you for help because you're the spiritual leader of the community, and
Yeah.
that's supposed to be your job. But he doesn't see that. He doesn't see that as his job. He sees making angry sermons as his job because then he has somewhere to let his bile loose, let his emotions out. He sees his pulpit as like his podcast,
Mm.
not like this is where I teach doctrine and offer help. He's like he's where I can finally let loose.
Mm. Yeah, this guy says,
It's madness, dude.
let's see. How about agreed? How about Baptists in general? Baptist, it just, man, there are
Heretics,
so
man.
many criticisms. Look at Father. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. His first name was Joseph. Last name is something with a T. I forgot how to
Myth
pronounce it.
with
Uh,
Mormons.
Trenum.
Uh,
Trenum. Father Joseph.
I'm turning my car on so I can use it as as a phone charger. It's pathetic right now.
Epic. I think Father
We should end this
just.
stream relatively soon.
All
I
right.
yeah,
Because
I
I
kind
got
of have to leave soon, but
But
yes.
yeah, please look up look up. I think Father Josiah, or no, look up Rock and Sand, and go to that guy's channel, and I believe he has a criticism of
Okay. There's a
Protestantism.
part one and part two of the Rock and Tan interviews.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Watch
want
both.
an Anderson specific video that can be applied to all Baptists in general, there's one like what is it? Pastor Stephen Anderson Exposed or whatever. Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
if you look up like Pastor Stephen Anderson exposed, it's like it'll be one of the
Yeah,
first few results. It's like a 2 hour video.
yeah, and it 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 talks a lot about the it's a Catholic documentary, so it talks a lot from Catholic perspective.
It's I think most of it I think
But
applies
he
though.
yeah. He's right he's right on the things he's right about, which is that this whole doctrine of like
Once saved,
what
always saved.
once saved always saved. You can't lose your salvation. Like apostasy is described in the Bible. Like, that's there, man. And
Which
also
that's the
the
thing.
concept of like by faith alone. It's like the only time the word faith alone is used in the Bible is when it says you cannot be saved by faith alone. That's the only time it's used. And the first retort is always like, oh, so you're saying that you earn your salvation? That's not what it's saying. And I'm not saying you earn your salvation.
Don't
But
believe the false dichotomy between like either faith
yeah,
alone or works alone. That's not the case at all.
and that's not
well,
it. The
if you
point is
have
that
faith, you do the works.
you are cooperating with the grace of God. You are
Yeah.
reorienting your soul to God. It's not about you're earning points towards salvation. Is that you are trying to turn your crooked, weird, sinful soul into something holy,
Mm-hmm.
and that does take work. And if you read the Sermon on the Mount, and I'll tell that to Protestant and revolutionary alike, read it over and over and over because there's nothing in it but
That supports any of that.
descriptions of works.
Yeah.
So what it is, it's like you have to do this or you won't be saved. It's not saying you earn it, but this is the way your soul has to be pointed at, or
Mm-hmm.
else you will
You
not. It won't look good for you.
right. It
That's
says
all I gotta say.
you will never deserve salvation. And yeah, it's ultimately a gift.
It's
But
true,
we are saved by God's grace in the end. We'll never be saved on our own merits.
but
As holy
it's
as you
like
can be,
okay,
you'll never, always fall.
the best description okay, and let's end let's end the stream on this note,
Hmm?
Ivan. Um, I think the best description that that
Wait,
I've heard
just one second.
is that
I'm probably gonna hit the header on
it's like a
12 or 12:30,
plant.
just letting you know.
It's like a plant that needs to grow. It needs to be in the sunlight. It needs to take the sunlight in it. But to do that, it needs to be put in the sunlight. But it's not the sun. So in the same way that we have to work in and cooperate with the grace of God, work with and in God's energies. But it doesn't mean we're working for it because we aren't doing the work. We're just showing up. God is doing the work.
Mhm.
The liturgy that's something that you do, something that you go to. That's about it, really. Let's
Yeah,
call it a night, guys.
this was
I
fun.
think we
I
did
had
a
fun.
lot actually. This was a really good stream, even if
Yeah,
Yep.
fellas.
not a
Even
lot
if
of
we're
people
all like
showed
kind of
up.
disoriented. Eh, they'll listen to it afterwards. It's fine. I'll,
Yep.
pl- I'll, I'll plug it on the blog.
Yeah, and if you want, it might be a good idea to just edit it a bit, take some clips, and put them up separately.
That's a good idea
Yeah,
too.
yeah, we did talk about like
Email
a
in
whole bunch of
here
different things.
because that's a pretty good way to to put some content out there out of a larger piece of content.
Hmm.
Yeah. Alrighty,
um,
fellas. Christ is risen. Indeed,
Truly
he's
is risen.
risen. Alright,
all right,
fellas. Have a good
boys.
night.
Good night.
Have a good night,
Woo!
everyone, and remember, be friends.
Yes.
Be friends.